These 30 motorcycle racing moments are blended with nerve-wracking situations and instances of disaster that will leave you in bone-chilling shock, leaving your heart pounding for minutes on end. Number 30. At the Revit Twins Cup Championship at the Road Atlanta Raceway, rider Caleb DeKyrell experienced an understeer when his bike started leaking engine coolant onto the racetrack. As a result, this happened.
Oh, he slowed down there too. Oh no! It takes out Jody Berry. And bikes are coming all over the place. That's Toby Cobbs.
They need to red flag.
The spilt coolant led to a massive flip that unexpectedly cut down riders Jody Berry, Hayden Schultz, Tony Cobbs, and Toby Kamsuk. Despite the scary turn of events, all 5 riders who went down walked away completely unscathed. Number 29. At the second 2023 Medallia Superbike race at Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta, South African rider Cameron Peterson got into an unprecedented situation when his Yamaha motorcycle started leaking gasoline in a tight turn. But then, this happened. During a high-speed turn, Peterson's Yamaha R1 caught fire. Fortunately, Peterson was able to quickly hop off the bike, and the fire was quickly extinguished. This moment being a reminder of the tenacity required in this sport. Number 28. At the 2023 Revit Twins Cup Qualifiers race at New Jersey Motorsports Park, rider Cassidy Heiser is battling for the lead in extremely rainy weather. In a slight turn, Mother Nature proves too much when this happens.
Black. No, that's Cassidy, I think.
Spencer Humphreys,
that's
maybe.
Spencer Humphreys, maybe. Grabs.
And for the rider in the grass like this, when it's wet, it's like a slip and slide.
Heiser skids on wet grass after his bike loses traction on the track, sending him to the ground while his bike tumbles and flips several times in the air. In a stroke of luck, Heiser is able to walk away from what could have been a much worse incident. Number 27. At the first 2023 Medallia Superbike race at Brainerd International Raceway in Minnesota, rider Cameron Beaubier was coming out of a very tight turn when in the blink of an eye, this happened.
Beaubier, unbelievable! Almost saved it in the middle of the racetrack and
While navigating the 4th lap, Beaubier's bike suffered a severe high side when the grip on his rear tire was lost. This led to his bike violently throwing him off and tumbling onto the track as other riders passed him at rapid speeds. Remarkably, Beaubier managed to dangerously, but eventually, crawl away from the speeding bikes and walked away from what could have been a much worse outcome. Number 26. At the Ridge Motorsport Park in Washington, rider Stefano Mesa gets into a freak accident. When coming into a tight turn, he loses control of his Kawasaki's front end, resulting in this gruesome footage.
Each other right. Oh, Mesa goes down! Oh, no! Oh, just get that bike away from him, hopefully. Yeah, that's a big one for Mesa. That's a big.
Stefano ends up sliding off the track, while his Kawasaki cartwheels and tumbles out of control alongside, nearly missing several collisions with him while airborne. Despite the scary scene, Mesa walks away with only minor bruises that thankfully didn't require any medical assistance. Number 25. At the U.S. Red Bull Grand Prix in 2009, Spanish rider Jorge Lorenzo, leading in the pole position for the first time, suffered an unfortunate high side coming out of a turn in his 2nd lap.
A dramatic qualifying session. Jorge Lorenzo goes down after setting the pole-setting lap.
The high side throws Lorenzo off of his bike and onto the track, with the racing machine just narrowly missing a few collisions with Lorenzo. Fortunately, his resilience allowed him back onto his bike. Despite the scary experience, Lorenzo was able to walk away relatively unscathed with only a bruised right foot. Number 24. At the 2016 America Moto 2 Free Practice 3 race, Spanish rider Axel Pons navigating a series of tight turns, finds his Kawasaki losing grip on its rear wheel.
Yeah, that looked like the rear.
That's horrible because the bike is going to come back on the
Look
track.
at Jonas Folger there.
Yeah.
He's
very aware, wasn't he? I've got to say.
Folger just jammed the brakes on coming through.
The incident ended with him skimming onto the hard concrete track, leaving a trail of smoke. Miraculously, Axel Ponce enthusiastically gets back onto his bike, trying to get it to start, leaving the scene unscathed. Number 23. At the Lucas Oil Motocross Championships in Utah 2013, battling to be amongst the top 10 positions, motocross rider Malcolm Stewart went head-to-head in a series of turns when, in a downhill turn, this happened.
Malcolm Stewart, they come together. Oh, wow. Malcolm, that was, he was determined to...
Stewart collided into fellow rider Justin Barcia, sending Barcia into the haystacks on the side of the track. Fortunately, neither Stewart or Barcia got injured, although Barcia suffered an aggressive setback on the leaderboard. Number 22. During the 2018 Moto America's Grand Prix, during Free Practice 1, Italian rider Francesco Bagnaia, whilst navigating a turn, leans a little too much and bumps over the marked line. That's when this happened.
So he's making work. Pecco Bagnaia has crashed again out of the lead. I can't believe what I am seeing. Pecco Bagnaia makes another monumental cock-up. I cannot believe it.
As Bagnaia loses his bike, he skids to a stop and quickly gets up on both feet. The consequences? A slightly bruised knee with no further injuries. A testament to how crucial the protective gear riders wear is... Number 21. At a 2021 Moto America Superbike race in Alabama, South African rider Matthew Schultz was navigating at high speeds when in a straight the rain proved to be too much, even for his Yamaha when this happened.
Such a good job, and the thing that he's been...
and down he goes. Oh, unfortunately, it was just too much. It looked like he kind of rolled off the racetrack.
Holding onto this motorcycle.
He is surfing right now, trying to get that R1. He's going to try to pick it up.
Schultz's Yamaha lost traction on the rear wheel in the rain-drenched racetrack, leaving him cascading seamlessly on the racetrack. As Schultz held onto his bike, he eventually came to a stop, quickly hopping back into the motorcycle and continuing as if nothing happened. Best of all, no injuries whatsoever. Number 20. At the 2023 Medallia Superbike race at Ridge Motorsport Park in Washington, Warhorse Ducati racing champion Josh Herron suffered a severe high side after a nasty understeer occurred right after earning the leading pole position. As Herron gets flipped off of his bike, he is thrown onto the racetrack and into the dirt, followed closely by his Ducati. Miraculously, he escapes the incident, suffering only minor bruises. But unfortunately, the same can't be said about his bike. Number 19. In the second race of the 2023 Super Hooligan National Championships at Daytona International Raceway, rider Alex Taylor found himself in the middle of an unsettling incident. His Kawasaki ended up losing its grip on the front tire whilst navigating a tight turn. The results are this harrowing scene. Remarkably, Taylor walked away from the gruesome incident safe and unhurt. Number 18. At the 2023 Medallia Superbike Provisional Qualifying Race at Brainerd International Raceway in Minnesota, racing coach Corey Alexander gets into a nerve-wracking high side, resulting in this shocking footage. Alexander's BMW gets launched across the grass before eventually coming to a stop at a barrier. Amazingly, Alexander, after being dragged along with his bike, stands up and walks away as if nothing happened. A true example of riders' protective gear in action. Number 17. At a 2023 circuit of the Americas' Supersport race, Vision Wheel M4 Expert Throttle Grappler, Teague Hobbs got into a mind-boggling crash when his bike suffered a severe oversteer, losing control and high-siding him onto the racetrack while his bike performs a flips and cartwheels for dramatic flair.
We got a bike down to Teague Hobbs. That's going to end up right in the middle of the racetrack, Greg, going down into turn 16, 19.
Thankfully, Hobbs was fortunate enough as he tucks in his hands, which saves him from sustaining any injuries. But his bike certainly does not share the same fate. Number 16. At a 2015 Moto 3 race during Free Practice 1, Red Bull rider Karel Haneke was navigating the second turn of the race. But things quite literally took a turn for the worst when this happened.
At the moment, that's
turn 2, is it?
yes, that is. Yeah, a fast right-hander.
Haneke's motorcycle loses traction due to the adverse wet conditions of the track, causing both his bike and him to skim across the racetrack and into the gravel pit. Fortunately, Haneke walked away without a scratch. Number 15. At the 2023 Medallia Superbike qualifying race at Brainerd International Raceway, rider Jake Gain was navigating the few finishing turns as he was about to finish in the lead position. But out of nowhere, this happened.
Start flipping and rip the front end off that R1. Gagne's going for a big ride, and you can see there goes that front end. That thing's across the other side of the track, and Petrucci.
Gain's bike suffered an unexpected oversteer and tumbled by a sequence of flips as the bike quite literally came apart mid-air. As Gain followed closely after the bike, he remarkably managed to walk away without any serious injuries, but seemingly appeared disappointed at the turn of events. Number 14. At the 2023 Medallia Superbike Championship race in the Motorsport Park circuit in New Jersey, rider Lucas Silva was in the middle of navigating a swift turn when, in a split second, his bike's front wheel made contact with the edge of the track, resulting in this harrowing scene. As Silva took a tumble into the hard concrete track, his bike skimmed along, sending sparks flying everywhere. Silva then proceeded to give a thumbs up, signifying his well-being after the unfortunate accident, which could have gone much, much worse. Number 13. During the 2023 Mission King of the Baggers Championship warm-up race, rider Kyle Wyman got into a mild predicament when his bike's rear wheel lost traction due to the wet conditions on the track.
Picking up, folks. Oh, Kyle Wyman down.
I told you the left side of the tires are cold.
Wyman's and his Harley Davidson skidded across and into the grass before coming to a stop. Wyman, with the help of crew members, picked his bike up and was on his way, walking away without a single scratch on him. Number 12. During a 2023 race in New Jersey's Motorsport Park racetrack, rider Edgar Zaragoza experienced a severe loss of traction in the rear wheel due to the wet conditions on the track, sending him tumbling to the ground. As his bike momentarily regains traction, this happened. His Yamaha is immediately deflected by the hay wall into the grass, just barely missing Zaragoza in the process. Regardless of the close call, Zaragoza is able to leave the incident unharmed. Number 11. During a warm-up lap at the 2023 Medallia Junior Cup race event at New Jersey's Motorsport Park circuit, rider Jack Roach gets involved in a crash when his motorcycle's front wheel comes into contact with fellow rider Tyler Scott's rear wheel, sending him tumbling onto the racetrack. But in a good turn of events, Scott skillfully brings his bike back in control, avoiding a nasty crash.
The guys get,
That did not just happen. Is that Jack Roach?
Thankfully, Jack Roach gets up quickly and reaches for his bike, sustaining no injuries in the aftermath of the incident. Number 10. During the 2023 Medallia Superbike Championship race at New Jersey's Motorsport Park, Mexican rider Richie Escalante, attempting a tight turn, suffered a low side, which caused the motorcycle to lose traction and slide from beneath him.
Four of Richie Escalante choose to take their traditional line, and Escalante on the Vision Wheel M4 X-Star Suzuki.
Amazingly, Escalante, with no time to lose, gets up and runs towards his motorcycle, showcasing his determination for the championship. He escapes with no injuries or severe damage to either him or his motorcycle. Number 9. During the second race of the 2023 Medallia Superbike Championship, rider Hayden Gillum finds himself in turmoil when his bike begins to spill hot engine oil on the racetrack and onto his foot. As he tries to navigate out of the racetrack due to this very reason, this happens.
See, Max Flinders is there as well, but see his right boot, look at that, it is covered. So for Hayden just to get control of the...
Gillum ended up disrupting other riders behind him, but eventually his efforts to navigate out of the racetrack pay off, and he rode into the gravel pit, followed by fellow British-American rider Max Flinders. With the help of the corner workers, Hayden escapes with only minor bruises to his right foot and is cleared from having sustained any other injuries, a lucky outcome considering an engine fire was imminent. Number 8. During the first 2023 Supersport Qualifiers race at New Jersey's Motorsport Park, rider Bobby Fong's motorcycle springs an unexpected oil leak that spills onto the racetrack. The result speaks for itself.
Bobby Fong, he's had a big let go on that bike. Oh, somebody else involved.
The trail of oil wipes out fellow rider Ashton Yates and narrowly brings down rider Jake Gain as well. Fong instinctively flags down other riders from becoming victims to the incident, and his quick warning ensures nobody else gets involved. Ashton Yates escapes with minor bruises as both riders involved come out virtually unscathed. Number 7. During a 2023 Supersport motorcycle race at Brainerd International Raceway, rider Andrew Forsyth's bike loses control in an uncontrollable manner after a massive oversteer leading to a loss of control. This causes the bike to skid, tumble, and spiral out of control. But then, this happens.
Look at that go.
Just stepped out really quick. Mallory Dobbs making it through there.
And Beamer had nowhere to go. I mean, that bike just stood up and then came right down on.
Forsyth's bike's rear end violently made contact with Justin Bamer's bike, which in return brought him down in an instant. The race was then red flagged due to the incident, but miraculously, both riders escaped without a scratch on them, although considerably shaken. Number 6. During a race taking place in the Medallia Superbike Championship at New Jersey's Motorsport Park, rider Brandon Posh goes down in an instant when his bike loses traction due to a very wet area of the track, causing his bike to start dangerously hydroplaning.
A really good job. Here's Brandon Posh. He gets the bike loose on the way in. So that's puddling, that's hydroplaning there. That's what you're going to see.
Both Posh and his bike get launched across the wet grass, eventually coming to a stop. Despite the severe nature of this crash, Posh walks away with minor bruises to his wrist and elbow, but otherwise, no major injuries. A perfect example of the dangers of wet track conditions. Number 5. During the first race of the 2022 Supersport Qualifiers at New Jersey's Motorsport Park, racing guru Jesse Rueling crashes after his bike's front wheel pitches to the right after coming into contact with another rider's rear wheel. As he makes contact, this happens. The impact threw Rueling over the handlebars and into the ground whilst performing a somersault. Parts of his motorcycle proceeded to break apart, with some parts just narrowly missing the cameraman. Rueling sits on the track's barrier, seemingly perplexed and shaken by the drastic turn of events, but it is later confirmed neither riders involved nor cameraman were seriously injured. Rueling suffering from only small injuries to his wrist. Number 4. During a 2014 Tennessee Motocross Championship race, German rider Ken Rocken successfully completed a climb and was now coming up on a slightly sharp turn. But then, this happened.
Uphill triple. I think Kadar. Oh, and Roczen goes down. Tomac back in the lead. He's stuck on the motorcycle.
His KTM bike loses traction and falls when attempting to complete the turn, causing the bike to stall and fall, leaving his foot underneath the weight and being a sitting duck for the incoming riders. Amazingly, Roczen finds his leverage and returns onto his motorcycle, showing his resilience in the fight for the top spot. Number 3. During a 2016 America Moto 2 free practice, Italian rider Simone Corsi crashed after his bike lost traction on the rear wheel after suffering an oversteer as he approached a turn.
Questo sicuramente è andato giù Simone Corsi, vediamo un po'. Scivola l'anteriore. Scivola l'anteriore all'improvviso.
This caused Corsi to skim out of control onto the racetrack and into the gravel pit. Remarkably, Corsi walked away without a scratch and with the situation being in full control. Number 2. During a 2016 motocross championship race, after completing a couple of tight turns with prowess, British rider Tommy Searle crashes as he makes a jump over a series of bumps on the trail, where his Kawasaki loses it and spins out of control to perform a tail whip effect, throwing him over the handlebars and into the dirt.
Oh, back end. That is a big moment for Tommy Searle. Looking not to catch a foot peg in the side there as well as he was launched over the handlebars.
Amazingly, Tommy Searle gets to his feet, slightly dazed, and returns onto his motorcycle, eager to regain his lost position. Number 1. During a 2018 Moto3 free practice, Italian rider Andrea Migno takes a tumble into the dirt after falling off of his motorcycle while navigating the fourth turn of the race, where the front wheel of his bike engages a piece of debris at the edge of the track, causing a swift deflection in direction leading to his fall.
Too many scuffs in his shirt.
See the bump as he
going
goes
to be.
in there.
That is incredibly fast. Blimey!
Whoa.
Oh my goodness me!
Astonishingly, Andrea walks away, having sustained no injuries to himself but quite the many to his motorcycle. If you thought these motorcycle moments were quite the watch, then these 25 motocross moments ought to leave you on the edge of your seat.